Well, after much hullabaloo, it is time. Our very first Newlywed game contest of the season. We were trying to look back on how many years we've been doing this contest, and a lot of couples have braved the terror of the radio and managed to find themselves here. But it's all in good fun. And, of course, there's great prizes as well, courtesy of all of our sponsors. And, of course, we will thank them profusely throughout this week. But as you can see, if you're watching on our YouTube channel, soon enough online, we've got our first couple of the season, Chris and Jen Jansen of Manchester, 27 years married. First and foremost, not only were you brave, I don't want to say Jen because Chris was the one that kind of got you in on this. Not only are you brave enough to get in to do the contest, but you guys said, yeah, we'll be the first. Sure. Yeah. That works. So I say welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good. See, the thing is, I got talk on that. So you guys have been married 27, but you've known each other 30 years?
30 years.
How did you guys end up meeting?
Well, we started, I started working in Humboldt. We worked at Hardee's together. That's where we first met.
Oh,
fast food restaurant.
Little fast food love.
Yep. And the kind of the funny story behind that was that her mother was the manager at the time.
Oh.
And so it was a little rough at the beginning.
I don't like the way you treated my daughter. You get to clean the fryer vats.
Yep.
Oh,
but it's all good now. Right?
Well, we are certainly glad that you guys came out. Did you, when you first saw him manning the station, front and making burgers, did you say, "Oh yeah, that's the man for me"?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that is not a believable face. That's okay. All right, so real quick, we're going to discuss the overall rules of the game so that we'll recap them every day this week. We are going to be asking each spouse 5 questions, how they think their other spouse will answer them. While we are asking those questions, the spouse, in this case, it'll be Jen, will be moved off to a quote unquote soundproof room. It's not really soundproof, but you aren't going to be able to hear what we're doing. Then when the questions get answered, we'll bring you back in and you will answer the questions. And if they match, now we have different points for our questions. The first 2 questions are worth 1 point. The third question is worth 3 points. The fourth question is worth 5 points. The fifth question is 10 points. So we have a potential of winning 40 points in all. And after the week, if you guys stand to the top score, the grand prize is all yours. Get it? Got it good?
Got it.
All right. So Loretta,
Okay.
Jen will whisk you off. And as she walks away here, so when you first saw her at the Hardee's, was it one of those things that you just were instantly smitten? Were you just like, yeah,
Absolutely.
I know the feeling?
Absolutely.
And have you ever, thought back and said, God, yeah, I was so lucky that he put me in the right place at the right time.
I say that every day.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
How many you've got grandkids? How many kids did you end up out of this marriage?
We have 2 daughters.
Wow.
2 daughters and 3 grandchildren.
See, that is wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, now she's strapped in. She's good to go. She's good to go. All right. Now, I'm going to hand you some cards and some things. I want you to, we're going to talk, but I want you to write it down, the answer on here.
Got it.
Our first question, and this is for 1 point. Which of, and just warning you ahead of time, which one of these sea creatures will Jen say you think she behaved on your first date? Was it a crab? Was it a clam, an octopus, or a flounder?
Well, I was already thinking of one before you even said it. So
Do you remember where your first date was?
Yep.
Where was it?
we went to a restaurant in Fort Dodge. It was on the square in Fort Dodge, and I can't remember the place, but it was a steak restaurant. And that was our first place we went to on our date, our first date.
And did she order high on the menu, or did she order something, Did she come in there and say, "Oh, well, I want lobster and steak"?
It was probably chicken strips.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so that's the first one right there. You're going with octopus.
Octopus, yeah.
Octopus. All right. Question number 2. What will Jen say you think is the silliest thing she's scared to death of? And be specific. Is she not scared of anything, or does she have a litany? Does she have quite a few? What is the one thing that's the silliest in your mind that she's scared to death of?
She really doesn't have anything that she's scared of. It's probably me more than her.
Take a wild guess.
Oh, man.
Some of these are tricky. I understand. Like creepy crawlies
Yeah.
and
We'll go with this. We'll go with it.
And that is a fine one to go with,
Yeah,
because
of
there's
course.
quite a few of us that say snakes don't need to be hanging around. All right, number 3. How will Jen say you'd complete this sentence? Now, this is you talking about her.
Okay.
It's no secret that Jen is pretty bad at blank, but she's downright rotten at blank. So what is she pretty bad at? And then what is she going to say that she's downright rotten about? He's thinking. It's a tricky answer. I understand.
So it's two answers here?
2 answers,
All right.
yes.
We're gonna do
This one, by the way, is worth 3 points. Oh yeah, that's, you know what, that I'm horrible about that.
And the first
one is that she's pretty bad at.
Um,
So we are going through him for the folks that he really is being mindful about this, folks. He's, it's. Oh, all right. That's a good one. Okay. So she's pretty bad at getting off the couch, and she's very rotten about sending birthday cards. I'm completely that way. So that's understandable on there. All right. Number 4. When does marriage counseling start? No. Number 4. How will Jen say you complete this sentence? This is you talking about her. She acts like she's allergic to what? She acts like she's allergic to what?
we just had this conversation the other day.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That you would what?
Yes. That's the worst. I'm surprised I have anything in the fridge.
This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
She's saying grocery shopping is the what she's allergic to. Okay, and the last question. Since you chose Jen out of all the fish in the sea, what kind of fish will Jen say you think she's most like? So what will she say you think what kind of fish she is? And he goes dun 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 dun. Make it easy. He said simply cod. All right, so we are going to call her in and see the answers. Now I'm going to let you hold these like this.
All right.
And remember, we're the red ones are first. We're going to go reveal from there. We're going to see if she answers correctly. Then we'll send her on her way and go further. Was it all that hard? It's just makes you think, doesn't it?
I'll just say all the practicing we did in the last 3 or 4 days meant nothing.
Yeah,
So,
well,
yeah.
that's the way it usually works.
Yeah,
And she
sorry.
goes, "Oh no, Jen, did you hear anything?"
No, it was a lot of jazz.
That's-
Elevator.
I know. I tried to think of something that was just going to make you go.
Is
That
anything
pretty much
cheating or
does it.
anything like that?
No, I
Okay.
wanted to.
All right, so I asked 5 questions of Chris. Now we're going to ask the same questions to you and see if you guess correctly to his answers. All right, we'll move swiftly, but I want you to be mindful here. Number 1, which of these sea creatures will you say, or will Jen say you think you behave? I'm going to have to reread this. Which one of these sea creatures will Jen say you think she behaved most like on your first date? So what I asked him basically is what sea creature,
He thought I was.
what he thought, were you a crab, a clam, an octopus, or a flounder?
Okay. Again,
Okay.
clam.
Crab,
Okay.
a clam, an octopus, or a flounder?
I'm gonna say clam.
All right. What was the answer? Octopus. That's the response. Folks, you see.
You're all over me.
Oh, yes. Like this. Marriage counseling begins next week. Okay, number 2.
Okay.
And that was a 1 point. That was a 1.1.
Yeah.
Number 2. What will Jen say you think is the silliest thing she's scared to death of? And be specific. And admittedly, he was struggling with this one. He didn't tell me why.
That I'm so scared of.
What is the silliest thing that he thinks you're scared to death of?
Man, these are hard.
I said you're not scared of anything.
Baloney. The silliest thing.
That now again, he just thinks it's silly that you're scared
I'm
to
scared
death.
of,
That
okay.
you're scared to death of it.
Bats.
That's a good one to be scared of. That's a good one to be scared of. But
That is a
no,
good one. I wasn't even thinking about that.
That's you.
I know,
that's
but
snakes.
I
And he
wasn't
did
thinking
say, I'm more scared of
Oh,
things
yeah.
than she is.
And mice
So
would be number 1.
that
Oh,
Oh man,
yeah, see, there you go.
failing.
No, that's okay. Those were only 1 point
Okay,
questions.
okay.
And this is a 3-point question. How will Jen say you'd complete this sentence? And this is you talking about her. Now, this is a little level of tough on this. I will admit this. It's no secret that Jen is pretty bad at blank, but she's downright awful at blank. So what would he say you're bad at? And what would he say you're downright rotten at?
And this is just anything in general.
Again, trust me, we still got a
Oh
whole.
man,
She's thinking. If you're watching online, that is a very thoughtful moment.
This is really tough.
If we made it easy, everybody would get 40 points.
I know.
No, but think it through. And I'm willing, if you get half the answer right, to go half the points.
Well, I'm sure that admitting I'm wrong is probably done that answer.
And
but
what was the other one?
Getting rid of things.
All right, Chris,
I don't
show
know.
her.
What did you put?
Getting off the couch
Oh,
and sending. Now, see, again, that last one, we're all.
getting off the couch. That's really nice.
Yeah. Remember, we're having fun.
Oh,
Remember,
so much fun.
we're having fun. Okay, this is question number 4. It's valued at 5 points. How will Jen say you'd complete this sentence? This is you talking about her. Okay. She acts like she's allergic to blank. You act like you're allergic to blank.
The heat.
Oh, and he said, grocery. Remember
this
how
conversation a couple days ago.
the grocery shopping. Remember how before we were going on the air, I said the guys are always confident,
Yeah.
but the
he is
women are.
you are way out of touch.
All right, this is a 10-pointer. Now remember, you still have questions that you have to answer that he has to guess right too. So we're all good.
I don't know.
And just by being here, you got a prize. And thank you very much for doing that too. Since you chose Jen out of all of the fish in the sea, what kind of fish will Jen say you think she's most like? Be specific.
Oh my gosh. Well, he knows my knowledge is probably limited.
Mm-hmm.
Probably say goldfish.
Oh, and he said, I don't know that. He said cod. So, okay. Hey, we still have a whole nother round of questions to go.
This is embarrassing.
No. This is
But I'm not.
all right. You know what? We'll change chairs. Chris, you go ahead. And,
Oh
and
my
Jen, you will
gosh.
come here and we will go about going with the second round of questions. So he said your first date was at a steakhouse. And I said, what, did she go high on the menu? And he said, no, she probably ordered chicken fingers. Are you would you say that in that regard, you kind of you were a cheap date,
Oh,
kind of thing? Always.
Always.
Does he tend to order?
Yes. Yes. Mhm.
All right. Now we clear our brains. We flush out all those. We're gonna show folks how it's
Okay.
done. Okay. Now
Okay.
you saw the gauge of the questions that are on here,
Yes.
so it makes you think about your partner a little bit. It does. It's not super easy questions, but it does make you
Okay.
think. Okay.
Okay.
So question number 1: how will Chris complete this sentence? This is him talking about you. I'm sure glad Jen isn't anything like blank. Boy, I'm sure glad Jen isn't anything like blank. Let you think that through. By the way, you're listening to the Newlywed Game, round number 1, by the way. Chris and Jen Jensen competing. They are our first couple. And yes, these are questions, by the way, that were actually asked during the game show. So these are ones that were actually. Now, imagine, if you will, these couples were newlyweds, truly newlyweds.
Sure.
Think about that as you answer to your question. How will Chris complete this sentence? I'm sure glad Jen isn't anything like. And she writes.
And
Okay.
and I don't know if he'll say it because he might, but
Hey, we got to be honest.
and she's listening, so
And
I'm
she's
sorry.
fine. And you know what? It's not necessarily a bad thing. Her mom. Well, because maybe she's, he's fun and eccentric, but maybe
Yeah.
he's more reserved. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll call it that. Number 2, how will Chris say you'll complete this sentence? Now, this is you talking about him. If Chris got caught up in a case of mistaken identity, he would probably be mistaken for blank. I was looking to see, does he,
Yeah, no.
is he a Brad Pitt kind of guy?
No, mistaken.
Who would he be mistaken for? You have a little sinister laugh. Go
I
ahead,
know,
write it
I
down.
know.
You think he'll answer?
I'm gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Man, these are super hard.
But again, these are questions that were asked, and this is a
Oh,
1
man.
point. This is a 1
How
point
did he
thing.
win? Okay. Read it one more time.
Read the question.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
If Chris got caught up in a case of mistaken identity, he would probably have been mistaken for. Nice way of saying, who do you think he looks like?
Nobody.
Relative, celebrity, sports star. At some
Okay.
All right. Okay.
His
We have.
dad.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
All right.
okay.
See, and that's a good one.
You helped me with
All right.
that.
Question number 3. Who would you say is the funniest person that you two know? Who is the funniest person? Who would you think he will say is the funniest person that the two of you know? You either have a lot of funny friends or you have no funny friends.
I'm just trying
Or-
to think of where he's going to go with that.
Could be a relative, could be one of you, it could be a daughter, it could
Yeah.
be your grandkid. Or
Yeah. I'm going to say Ava.
Ava. All right. Now, give it a choice. Chris would rather take out his boss, your mother, or the trash.
My mom.
Your mom. Yeah, well, she was his boss
Yep.
for a while.
That's right.
And then she just, management changed.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yep.
Yep. And last but not least, how will Chris complete this sentence? This is you talking about him.
Okay.
If you want to see a grown man make a complete fool out of himself, ask Chris to blank.
Dance.
Okay. See, now you know that. And that's a 10-point question right there.
Yeah.
So we're going to
Okay.
go say it. We'll bring him in now. See, they were tough, but you know
Yeah,
what? I
well,
think I'm feeling confident
know.
on there.
I don't know.
It's the way it works. Our newlywed game, we bring Chris in. Chris, did you enjoy the light jazz as well?
I do like jazz.
Oh, there you go. All right. So we asked Jen the 5 different questions, and the whole way she was very thoughtful. No complaints. It was all good, right? She was like, yes.
So hard.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but that's what makes it fun. Okay, so here is question number 1. How will Chris complete this sentence? Now, this is him talking about you. I'm sure glad Jen isn't anything like blank. Who do you think she put down? I'm sure glad. Now, and don't think about it.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Just say the boom. Say the first one that comes to your mind.
Her mother.
Ding, 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 ding,
And I
ding.
said she's listening, and I don't mean it.
But again, as we said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe she has a particular hobby or things that go like that. And Mom, we love you, and please don't hurt us. Number 2, how will Chris say you'd complete this sentence? Now, this is Jen talking about Chris. If Chris ever got caught up in a case of mistaken identity, he probably would have been mistaken for. And she did have to think this one through.
Well, I'd have to go with Matthew McConaughey.
Ooh. Give me your best. All right. No, she said your father.
Because
Yeah.
I just didn't.
Yeah, and again, that was a tough one. That was a tough
Yeah,
one. Like
sorry.
okay. Number 3, who will Chris say is the funniest person the 2 of you know? The one that just is the funniest person of the 2 of you know. And we talked about it.
Yeah, and you said it could be anybody.
It could be anybody. It could be friends. It could be family. It could be, you. He was quick to say.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
Who knows a person we know?
Mm-hmm. Take a stab.
I guess I'll go with Jamie Vasky.
Jamie Vasky.
Yeah,
But
He
no.
is good.
Ava.
Yeah.
Ava.
Yeah.
And
But he
Ava
is funny.
is Ava grandchild?
Yes.
Is she funny?
Yes.
Okay, well, see, there you go. Now you know. And be glad that she's not listening. No, I'm just joking about that. Given the choice, Chris would rather take out his boss, your mother, or the trash.
Your mother.
Boom! That's a 5-point question right there. And a little redemption, Mom. I'm just saying. Just saying. And I think that there's going to be a dinner somewhere around here. Just saying. All right, last question. And see, he's managed to, you've done, see, remember what I said? Guys come in confident, girls come in. No. How will Chris complete this sentence? This is Jen talking about you. If you want to see a grown man make a complete fool out of himself, ask Chris to blank.
Dance.
Yes! A 10-pointer for the big red. That is what we wanted to see.
Oh,
Now,
good.
see, this was wonderful. Now, again, thank you so much for being the first contestants out of the block. You didn't know what to expect, but honestly, you did exceedingly well. Trust me, you're the first. There's 4 more couples in here, and they're going to be asked the same kind of style of questions that we have for a potential of 40 points. You start the way with 16, which is still a good showing because you got that 10-point question in there. So that's a good job in there. And as a thank you for doing this, and I should say this, while we were off the air, while we were waiting, Chris did say something that is memorable. I said, when you were at Hardee's and you saw Jen, did you just no right then? And he said, absolutely. He knew that you were going to be the one from the beginning. So that's a good thing.
Just
So
took him a few years to figure it out.
it just took him a few. Hey, I know the feeling. But as a thank you, we've got a $25 gift card from Captain and Tennille, which is really, have you been there
Yes.
yet? It's very good.
Yes.
And a dozen cupcakes from J&D Catering and Sweets. So, and you are in the running. So we'll see if you get the grand prize out there as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have any words of encouragement for each other, or maybe an apology that needs to be? We'll save that for off the air.
Yeah.
We just did get 0. That's all.
Oh, yes. And you know what? We will do another couple tomorrow. We hope you join us again right around 8 o'clock right here on KMCH.